Hello, thanks for coming by. This is Artsy Wisdom, and my name is Diane. I have had a day. My internet has gone down, or not the internet, but the TV. My husband, this is the seventh game of the Oilers' 7-game series, and if they get past this, they're going to go on to the second to final round, and it was a crisis of massive proportions. Luckily, we got an Amazon Fire Stick in the States, and we brought it up and we got this streaming service. Otherwise, but we were just online with this company for like an hour, couldn't get it going. Anyway, I'm here now. So I had a couple questions. Nicole had asked me about Trudeau winning in 2025 and Poilievre, how that was going to look. And then I also looked into the Iranian president. Oh gosh, I'm sorry who asked that. But I looked into, the crash, and I wanted to get in his energy and see if it was anything nefarious or what's going to happen at this point, because I know they're going to have another election. And so I did that. And I also kind of went into Saudi Arabia a little bit while I was in the Middle East. I went into Saudi Arabia, and that King Salman, he was admitted to the hospital with lung inflammation, and I was wondering about how that was going to go and what's going on with him. I immediately had an idea when I thought of him. I'm going to do that. So first of all, though, so this is my t-shirt, and not many people get it. So I would love it if you comment and you can guess how it is. It's a converge of two different worlds. Okay. I'll give you a hint. One of them is the art world. Okay? And that, of course, is the Death Star. So if anybody can figure it out, I ask people all the time, and they're like, huh? I don't know. So let's get started. So my viewers are so smart. You guys, I'm sure, will figure it out, what that is. So Nicole's question was about Poilievre, and this is in reference to Canada. They have Trudeau. Justin Trudeau is the prime minister, and there's different provinces. And Poilievre he's a UCP leader, and they think maybe he'll run against Trudeau, and I think he's gearing to do that. And in the past, some of the videos I've watched, some of the videos I've recorded, I see a person from the prairie states or prairie provinces, which is like Alberta, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, running like on a horseback with a sword, kind of like a Teddy Roosevelt character, aiming and going fast. Somebody had mentioned he is from Calgary, which is that's in Alberta. I don't think of him as a cowboy kind of guy, but whatever. And at this point now, I wasn't sure then, but I see him swinging, like riding this horse, swinging a sword, like kind of, I'm sorry if that moves the mic too much, but he's swinging a sword and going fast. Same thing, same picture, same vision. And I see him going after Trudeau and I do think he's going to run. I think he'll be a leader. Now, when I meditated on this, there is a feeling, I got into the energy in Ottawa, which is the capital, and there is so much embedded. I think Justin Trudeau is a liberal, but there's so much embedded liberal NDP people, and it's like entrenched. It's all thick. And for Poilievre to get in there, he would have to align himself with another party. And I think it's going to be a little too hard for him to do that. I think being here I'm in the prairie provinces, I think many people here would like a more conservative government because they keep taxing and socialistic kind of programs. And it's wonderful for many reasons, but sometimes they're going overboard. There's a lot of business responsibility or business focus that they would prefer here. So what I did see was that he's going to want to go for his job. I think it's going to come close. There's some cronies or some backdoor old boy network talking with Trudeau and all of the liberal people there that are going to really make it hard. And I know the population is super dense on the coast, and they, not completely on the coast, the Maritimes not so much, but in Ottawa and Quebec and stuff, and Ontario and Quebec, they tend to, whatever they vote for tends to elect whoever it is. So there's not as many people in the prairies, so they tend to not get as much a big a voice. So I think he's going to go for it. I think he's going to have to align himself with another party. Maybe, for my American friends, liberals there are sort of in the middle, the center, and the NDP is in the far left. I know it's kind of confusing. So I think he's going to have to align himself and make a little coalition if he's going to make it happen. It's not there yet, but I think he's got a good chance, actually, to be the nominee at least, and to win, as long as he stays in a semi-normal way, because I've seen him in the past where he's very extreme. But I think he's going to, I don't want to say pretend, but I think he's going to play the game and do the best he can to be as centrist, or at least more palatable for everybody. But man, oh man, he was swinging that sword and he was riding that horse and he was going for it. Okay, so that is that one. And I did, oh yeah, bureaucracy is thick. That's the word I got too. Danielle Smith, she's an Aries. She's born on April 1st. My son is born on April 1st too. And when I got into her energy, Danielle Smith is the provincial, she's the premier of Alberta, and she's in the UCP, so she's in the Conservative Party. But she's made some very unpopular changes for some people in this province. She's very pro-business, pro-oil. She's very heavy-handed, though. But when I got in her energy, I felt lonely. I don't know if she has children. I felt like she was by herself trying to do this job. Not that she doesn't have people around her to help her, but it's almost like she is one of these Reese Witherspoon in the movie Election. It's like she has a goal and she's determined, and it got that same kind of vibe where it's almost like the goal is it, not the living part or the process. I don't know. I felt kind of bad for her because I felt like she didn't have a life. That's the feeling I got. She's also trying to take over the municipalities and override any decisions they have and have it go to the province, and the municipalities, like town, cities, local councils, wouldn't have a say. She says they would, or they say it would, but it's trying to monopolize or control. It's another thing, like she feels like she just feels, I don't want to, not autistic. She's not autistic, but she's tunnel vision. You know, this is what I want. This is what we're going to get. She has put her foot in her mouth many times and having to apologize. But she doesn't apologize where, I don't think she thinks it's wrong. I think she apologizes because she doesn't want people upset. Hanged Man, Danielle Smith, the Emperor. Oh, very major arcana. The Hanged Man. This is a very pretty card. She's got so this is a different perspective. Upside down means, you know, you're looking at it from a different perspective, but it also means that spiritually you're waiting for wisdom. You're willing to look at things. And Emperor, which is authority, strength, leading, something you can depend on as well. But sometimes, and this is a card of a French, it looks like Louis the 16th or something, but it looks like he's got all his minions. And this is kind of how I think of her. She's like, I'm in charge. You guys don't know what you're doing. I'm going to be the puppet master and we're going to do what I say. And that's the feeling I get. And she's also sneaky. In the past, I've seen her making deals, like dealing cards at like a casino, dealing. And I don't know if she's making deals or she's getting her best hand. But the high priestess, and she's kind of behind the curtains. So what's happening behind the curtains? So when I looked into, will she be able to control the municipalities and take control of their Page of Cups, Two of Cups. So this is an emotional thing. I think this is kind of her where she's looking, I got you. I'm going to take care of you. Although this is a sweet card. It's very dreamy. It's very sweet. I think, according to this, it'll be too much of a pushback. And she's going to, or the municipalities, cities, towns, governments, or local counties or whatever, are going to really yell about it and get with her and have a conversation and maybe come up with a different, there's a bill, I forget, it's 18 or 20 that they're voting on that's going to permit them to do that. Will that pass? Will that pass? Bill 18, 20, whatever it is. Six of Wands, Four of Wands. Actually, this is normally a celebration. Six of Wands is a success, celebration, a marriage. And this is, I think, this is talking, coming up with ideas. I think my feeling is it's not going to pass. And she will, then there's going to be conversations about how we can make it different, how we can be partners more, municipalities, so they can have more of a voice, because apparently they haven't even given their voice to a lot of different decisions, and she wants to just continue to do that legally, I guess. The Iranian President, Ibrahim Raisi, I got into his energy and I went into the helicopter, and I immediately heard wiring. I heard the word wiring, but I also felt like I passed out. But I don't know if that was the moment of impact or of chemicals somewhere, poisoning or something. But anyway, it doesn't really matter because there was a huge amount of weather. So I'm thinking it's a combination of weather and something else that didn't quite work right or something. Maybe it's a navigational thing. Anyway, but now I'm out of the plane. I'm out of the ship. I'm on the ground outside of it. I am in his energy, and I'm looking at the wreckage, and I feel so much lighter. I don't feel sad. I feel lighter, and I see over my right shoulder the light of God or Allah, whatever he believes, and he feels very at peace. The trauma is gone, and his worry or concern about politics in Iran is gone. He seems very spiritual. I feel very connected to God or Allah, like I said. I feel very connected to spirit in him. Like, he is very faithful. And I can sense that he's really eager to go, and he is released now. And I looked into the election, and it's Hosseini Komani. Sorry, destroying that. He is the supreme leader, but this person was a president. And what I saw in the Khomeini's viewpoint was there's three people behind him. 1, 2, 3. So these are the people that'll be next up. There's going to be an election. Somebody said in 50 days. It's not determined yet. It's so early days. I feel like they're younger. There's somebody a little older, and there's a couple of people younger. But it felt really solid. There's not going to be any change in the guard. There's not going to be any big craziness. It's who's going to be chosen. Everybody has their plan. Nobody's hurting anybody to get ahead. They all are working together in a way to come up with the best plan. I feel like the best plan. I feel like this theocracy is for them working right this minute. Who knows when the Khomeini dies eventually. Khamenei, oh sorry, dies. But he, right now, they're going to pick somebody. There's 3 people they're choosing between. So, but this guy's gone, and I know he might have his son, I think, or is it Khomeini's son? One of them has a son. They're thinking that might be one of the successors. But then there's 2 other people, and they feel like they're younger, but they're still as devout. You know, they'll follow the same laws and religious restrictions or religious ideologies, and it felt like nothing's changing. Now, when it comes to the Red Sea, and I think the Houthis or the rebels there were bombing or destroying ships that were going in the Red Sea because they thought it was Israel that had something to do with it. I don't feel like it blew up. I felt like there was some flaw that didn't work exactly, but weather was the biggest problem. Yeah, and I could feel them hitting trees. Yeah. But it happened fast, generally. So I just saw a vision of them shooting missiles over somewhere from the center of Iran to the Red Sea, which I'm sure it's not literal, but I see them shooting things at these ships. And actually up high using, they don't have drones. Maybe. Yeah, I think they're planning it if they haven't done it already, or they are going to if they're planning it. Yeah, it's going. I was wondering if it was going to upend the semi-calm there in the Red Sea. Will it upend it? Will it change anything? Will it change the Red Sea? Not yet. I have the 2 of Pentacles. They're balancing something. People are deciding. I think once they decide how the helicopter went down, they're waiting to hear if Israel had anything to do with it. And there will be some disappointment in the outcome. And will they? Yeah, I think they're going to actually go behind the scenes, or they're already terrorists, those Houthis, but they're going to do something in the name of somebody else. That's the feeling I get. Something's going to happen. I know that sounds like all the terrorist stuff is, but they're going to do something to a ship or something drone-like, and they're going to say it was somebody else. They might even, because if they don't get satisfaction by saying, oh, that was Israel, they might imply, like, do something and blame it on them. That's the feeling I get. Okay. All right. Now, the King Salman, the king of Saudi Arabia, I believe, so I read that he was being admitted to the hospital, King Salman, for lung inflammation. I immediately went to a fungus. I went to albuterol, or is it, yeah, albuterol, like an inhaler. It could be asthma, but it feels worse than that, like a spore, a fungus. It's in his little nodules down there. You know, in Arizona, we have valley fever, and it's in the dirt. They're little spores, and if you're new to the valley, sometimes they get into your system, and then you can have a reaction anyway, like get into your nervous system, get into your lungs, get into your bones. It's worse for animals, but some people, it really is debilitating, and it lasts, you know, you can have it all your life. There's medications for it. It's kind of antifungal. That's the feeling I got, was more of a fungus, and he needs a steroid or something like that. And if they're worried it might go to pneumonia, or, you know, I can feel his breathing problems. Okay, so now that was it. Next time I plan on doing something. I was going to channel Diana for a little bit. I'm going to do that next time to see what she's thinking about this whole royal family, what's going on since she's been gone. and I'll let you know when that comes out. And we'll see you soon.